the devil was
Mm.
a literal physical serpent, a living physical creature, when did he transform or change into a spirit that is a fallen angel?
And the answer to it is given twice very clearly in the book of Revelation. I don't think people know these verses, but in Revelation 12, verse 9, and in Revelation 20, verse 2, the serpent of old, the Genesis serpent, is the devil, is the Satan. That's an equation. So that serpent there is a code word for the devil, if you like. It's not a literal animal. God doesn't punish a non-responsible literal animal. So he's there under the symbol of a snake, and that snake is the devil. He didn't become a fallen angel at that point. Somewhere in the scheme, he rebelled against God. We don't know exactly when. It might be that when he saw the creation of Adam and Eve, and mankind were going to be superior to angels, that, as the Jewish writings say, he became jealous and decided to try to wreck God's immortality program for man, for Adam and Eve and the rest of us. So that snake is the devil. Revelation 20, verse 2, and Revelation 12, verse 9. They are synonyms. It's an equation. So it's rather like calling Herod that fox. Herod wasn't literally a fox, but it's a code word to describe a very wicked person.
So let's look at the account here in Genesis. It talks about the serpent was the most cunning
Yes.
of all the wild animals
Mm-hmm.
that the Lord God had made.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this creature, this is an actual creature, right? Or is this a metaphor for something else?
No, I think this is the devil. Revelation 20, verse 2
Right,
says.
but it's an actual animal.
Oh,
It's a creature.
it is the devil. It is Satan, he's an angel, and his code name is a serpent, who is the devil, who is the Satan.
Because then the consequence of sin is that God says to this serpent, he will be accursed. He will move on his belly like the snakes we have today. The devil called the serpent here. Why is God saying this to this fallen angel, this
Well, it
devil?
is, as you said, a metaphor, if you like. It's not a literal serpent, but the language of serpents is used here. But I'm relying heavily on Revelation 20, verse 2, and Revelation 12, verse 9, which equate the ancient serpent, the Genesis serpent, with the same person as the devil. In addition to that, you remember that in 2 Corinthians, I fear that as the serpent deceived Eve by his cunning, your minds, you Corinthians' minds, might be seduced from a complete and pure devotion to Messiah. So you see, that serpent is the devil. Paul is talking about Satan disguising himself as an angel of light. That means he is an angel, but he's masquerading as an angel of light. It means he's an angel of darkness. So he's an angel originally who decided to rebel against God. And God then, in response to that rebellion of one of his created beings, decided to say, I can use this person, this evil devil, to work as a foil, if you like, to the development of Christian believers. You see, without any sort of opposition or difficulty, how would we be trained, as you might say, the Navy SEALs for tomorrow's world government? Well, God uses the devil as a foil, as an opposition, and we are to see through the tricks of the devil to resist him, in addition to resisting our human nature. They're not the same thing. There is a group that says the devil is simply a word for your inner human nature. That's just not possible. The evocative case, that's the Greek term for calling out to somebody or speaking to them, addressing them, is used of Satan. You can't address a personification. You don't speak to wisdom and say, hey, wisdom, tell me something. But you certainly can have a conversation with the devil. God did it in Job. Jesus spoke to the devil in Matthew 4. So if you're in any doubt about that at all, simply go to Matthew 4 and you'll see the tempter there trying to seduce Jesus. And that was not a conversation within Jesus. The Bible knows how to say that Jesus was talking to himself. You could say that. But no, very easily in Matthew 4, that tempter approached. Prosethon in Greek means to come towards someone, to come from the outside. So don't let anybody tell you that the devil is non-existent.